taken from my book when I was 21 years old. Now remember, 21 years old, things were much different back in 1960 than what they are now. The 6 of us decided to go up the mountain to the Sunset Ballroom for New Year's Eve. Warren Covington's orchestra was playing, and that was the only reason Daddy allowed me to go. He did everything he could to dampen my enthusiasm, however. "Now, daughter," he started, "you may be 21, but don't think for 1 minute that gives you a license to carouse into all hours of the night. You still live under my roof, and you will abide by my rules." He wanted to make sure I understood the rules, so he continued. "You can stay until after midnight. It'll take an hour to get home, so I expect you at the front door by 1:30. By the way, who's doing the driving?" Daddy inquired. "Timmy Harlow," I answered. My father studied a moment, then he added, "I'll have a talk with that boy." December 31st came, and I dolled up in a new black chiffon frock for the Sunset Ballroom dance. Chris knocked on the front door. Daddy opened the door and lectured Chris about the time he was to get me home. Then he called Timmy to come inside for a chat. Timmy gave Daddy all the right answers. "Yes, Mr. Roth, I'll be careful. No, I won't drink more than 2 beers all night. I'll have Judie back by 1:30. Daddy's parting words to me as we headed toward Tim's car were, "Remember, daughter, a lady never takes more than 2 drinks. There's nothing worse than a woman drunk, and make sure you're home here by 1:30. I agreed, and off we drove, Tim, Maria, Kip, Joe, Chris, and I up the mountain to the Sunset Ballroom. The evening started off fun. Sunset Ballroom was packed with a rowdy bunch. We jitterbugged, bunny hopped, and Mexican hat danced until I became exhausted.
Yeah!
I thought I better sit the next dance out and take a rest. I sat fanning myself to cool off and catch my breath. We were packed in like sardines, and I remember worrying how terrible it would be if that place caught on fire. Everyone smoked back in those days, and fire was a real concern. Just then the fellow behind me whirled around and hurled the contents of his liquored stomach all over the skirt of my new black chiffon dress. He was so drunk he fell on me too. After I pushed him away, I fled to the ladies' room to clean off the disgusting vomit from my skirt. As I struggled with paper towels and water, I faintly heard Old Lang Syne coming from the dance floor. Soon Maria walked into the ladies' room. "You missed the New Year," she exclaimed. Then she told me that it snowed 8 inches and that the fellas were about to get in a fight with the guy that vomited on my dress. It was time to head down off the mountain. We opened the door to leave the Sunset Ballroom and ventured out into the freezing New Year's night. Blizzard conditions surrounded us with snow depths up to our knees. It took forever to find Timmy's car, and another eternity to clear the snow off. We knew the ride down the mountain would be dangerous and slow. To make matters worse, the foul odor clung to the skirt of my black chiffon dress and filled the inside of the car with stench. Finally, Timmy ordered, "Wind down all those windows. I don't care if we all freeze to death and the car fills up with snow. That smell is making me sick." At 3 a.m., we pulled up in front of my parents' house. The front porch light glowed brightly, and Daddy's form stood peering through the glass storm door. "Oh shit, there's your old man." Everyone chimed in unison. Timmy pulled to the curb and informed me he was just slowing down long enough for me to jump out. He wasn't about to tangle with my old man after his nerve-wracking drive down off the mountain. I jumped out of the car before Daddy had time to get off the front porch. I knew I was in for it. As soon as we got inside the living room, he started in on me. "We've been damn near crazy with worry about you, girl. I told you when you left to be back here by 1:30. Do you know what time it is?" I took off my coat and tried to reason. Daddy, the snow up at Sunset was much worse than it is here. It was a blizzard up there, and we had to crawl down off the mountain to get home. Just then he caught a whiff of my black chiffon dress and really blew his top. Never did I think I'd raise a girl to defy me and get drunk besides. I was nearly in tears, but Daddy, you don't understand. I understand perfectly, he roared at me as he opened a belt from around his waist. When Daddy unbuckled his belt in a fit of anger, it meant only one thing. I pulled off my high-heeled black pumps and darted for the staircase in hopes of outrunning him to my bedroom. I took 2 steps at a time, but not fast enough to escape the sting of his long leather belt across the backs of my calves. Mother called him back from the bottom of the stairs, and I locked the bedroom door behind him. It wasn't very funny at the time, but we've often laughed about it later. That goes to show how sick we were. That was the last time Daddy ever opened his belt on my account.